I have attended protests and rallies in the past when I agreed with the goals, when I supported the people expressing their concerns and their issues. Black Lives Matter is an excellent example of that.
So I'll meet with the people at a rally as long as I agree with their goals. As long as they agree with me, it's totally fine. Like Black Lives Matter. You get the sense even someone as dim as Justin Trudeau realizes this is not a winning argument. He needed his friends in state media to help. So they trotted out some attack lines against the truckers, lines they borrowed directly from CNN and NBC News here in the States. So here's Canada's state broadcaster inventing a claim out of nothing that Vladimir Putin himself may be responsible for this trucker convoy. Watch.
You know, given Canada's support of Ukraine in this current crisis with Russia, I don't know if it's far-fetched to ask, but there is concern that Russian actors could be continuing to fuel things as this protest grows, but perhaps even instigating it from the outset.
Russia! You gotta love Canada, but let's be honest. They always steal our ideas and produce a slightly shoddy copy of them. We have Walmart, they have Canadian Tire. Not to be mean. Russia! Of course, Putin did it! There's no evidence of that, no sources. They've just been reading American Twitter. And the state media anchor is deeply concerned. Who buys this? No one's gonna buy this. It's so prima facie absurd. So they just kept going. Here's Justin Trudeau from his bunker offering yet another reason to distrust the junta running the newly formed nation of Truckistan, formerly known as Canada. Watch.
We won't give in to those who fly racist flags. We won't cave to those who engage in vandalism or dishonor the memory of our veterans.
Dishonor the memory of too many Canadian flags. There are like 3 bad people in the crowd, so ignore them all, ladies and gentlemen. Thankfully, by contrast, no one at any BLM rally ever torched a courthouse or shot anybody or burned down a building. But these truckers, apparently there was a racist flag, so pay no attention. Now, in the United States, we probably wouldn't fall for this at this late date. We're a little jaded at this point because we've seen it so many times. Oh, they had a Confederate flag. Never mind. We can ignore their concerns. The election was totally fine. So again, we've seen it before. But in Canada, they probably haven't seen it. They're a few years behind us. And so, you know, they're kind of impressed by it. Claims like this happened here a few months ago, as you may remember, when Democratic operatives carried around tiki torches to smear Glenn Youngkin as a white supremacist. Again, Trudeau had reason to think Canadians hadn't seen that, and he might be able to get away with it. Trudeau has been honing this line of argument for months now. Last September, you may remember, he accused people who opposed mandatory vaccination, getting a shot because the government requires it, of being racist. Watch.
Mais il y a aussi des gens qui sont farouchement opposés à la vaccination.
Qui sont extrémistes.
Qui ne croient pas dans la science, qui sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi.
Poor Canadians. They're good people. They don't have a lot of news sources. They've been exposed nonstop for 2 years to this kind of propaganda. If you don't believe in mandatory injection with an experimental medicine, you're a racist? Apparently some believe it. At least one counter-protester this weekend believed it. Watch this, one of the most humiliating scenes ever caught on tape.
What does it say, sorry? So it says, F your white nationalist agenda.
I am not a white. This is nothing to do about white. This is nothing to do with truckers. This is about freedom for all of Canadians. You can be brown, black, white, blue, whatever color you want to be. This is about freedom. And Trudeau has no right to put us in this condition of mandates throughout the country. Children are not going to school. It's a terrible thing to do.
Oh, thank God for Rebel News. It may be. You think Fox is an anomaly in the United States. How'd you like to be Rebel News? Literally the only people in all of Canada who are playing it straight. So there they are trying to tell you that some guy from the subcontinent is a white nationalist. They're trying hard. And now they have evidence. It's brought to you by CNN, naturally working in tandem with the CBC. Apparently, brace yourselves, there was a Trump sign in the crowd of truckers. Watch.
Given the potential risk, Jim, Justin Trudeau and his family, he has 3 kids, live about a mile from Parliament Hill. They have now been moved somewhere. We don't know where. It's an undisclosed location out of an abundance of caution. I will also say that former President Trump certainly is supporting this group. I've been out there. I have seen Trump supporter signs out there. And this leads to a larger question. Jim, they're still in the downtown core. Police just released a statement saying, look, we need the trucks to leave. We need people to leave. This city has to start functioning again. And the issue is how to leave. The people who have organized this say that they will stay out there months if needed.
All right, and we know you'll stay on top of it. Alarming situation there in Ottawa. Paula Newton, thank you very much.
Now, we don't know who that woman is, but she should be completely ashamed of herself. She's a journalist, and yet she just told you that the ruling party of Canada wants the people who are protesting their policies to leave. And then she nods gravely, and they need to leave. Things need to get back to normal. They've got to run the city, doing all the important things that Canadians do in Ottawa. CNN is siding openly with the Trudeau government because you can't challenge power. I mean, that's what we do in the media, is to remind you, obey, accept your fate. Rich people have spoken, get in line. And we've got a Trump flag to prove it. But it gets worse. There were more racist flags this weekend. One of them imported conspicuously from this country. Now, we have definitive evidence of this. We're getting this from Canadian media, that there was a racist in the crowd. Watch this.
Now he's going. Now he's gone. We called him out. He knows. He's going to hold his head in shame now.
Oh, it's so great. You'll notice in the shot, there's only one person who has his face completely covered, and he happens to be carrying a Confederate flag. Now, the crowd looks at him and says, oh, wait a second. We know who you are. You're Ray Epps. Oh, sorry. But we don't trust you. In exactly the way the crowd in Washington the night before January 6th of last year said to Ray Epps, get out of here, Fed. So the people on the scene didn't believe that guy was anything but a provocateur. Now, we don't know exactly who he was. We'll let you make your own conclusions from that.